Hello and welcome to this episode. I believe it's episode 24 of my podcast. And today we are going to be gathering a lot of wool. I'm going to be talking about love and things that have happened to us in the past that maybe have led us into a different direction, and people that I have met here on the streets of Miami Beach. Today, as I said earlier, I'm going to be talking about a lot of things, and recently I've been thinking a lot about YouTube and my channel, and it's interesting if you are a YouTube creator and you have a channel, it's very interesting the way you can watch yourself age throughout the years. You have a record of how much hair you used to have and how few wrinkles you used to have and how maybe much makeup you used to wear when you were 7 years younger, and now you are very spare on what makeup that you feel comfortable in. So it's just that journey. When you are here on YouTube, we have the privilege of watching ourselves age right before our own eyes and by the eyes of our community, whoever is watching our channel. And I thought too about all of the people that I've been interacting with in the comments. I feel as though I know each and every one of you. You've shared so many wonderful life stories with us, and it's so heartwarming and so wonderful. And it reminded me of several years ago, I was on a plane traveling to visit one of my children. And I was seated, and as people were boarding, I had my head down. I don't know what I was looking at, but a woman stopped by and bent over and said, "Hi, I watch you on YouTube." And it just made my heart warm. I think it was probably one of the first people that ever had recognized me when I was away from my home. And when we landed, she met up with me and we walked together all the way to the baggage area and had a nice conversation. She was going to visit her family at my destination. Of course, I was going to visit my daughter, and I sat waiting for her, and her people came and she went on her way. And I got to thinking about all of the people that we meet in our lives. Maybe they're just passing strangers, saying a few words at the grocery store, in a restaurant with a waitress or whomever, or just people that we happen to sit next to and maybe start a conversation with. But each and every one of those conversations, believe it or not, they make up who we are. Just our interactions with other people and the experiences that we have when we reach out to others. It certainly is a journey that is part of why we are here and part of why they walk with us, maybe even for 2 minutes or 2 seconds. I've had so many people give me, without knowing it, in their conversations, they give me insight on life and how meaningful it is for us to have some type of human connection in our lives. They were the most beautiful roses I had ever seen. Their perfume fragrance drew me toward them, and instantly my face caught fire. Masses of giant red ants with glowing eyes enveloped my face, injecting their poison into every available inch of my face. Oh, I woke up with my heart racing. Oh, only a dream, I thought. But in a millisecond, I realized that in my subconscious nocturnal state, I was living what was happening to me in reality. I could hardly open my eyes with the heaviness of what felt like hundreds of Lilliputans weighing down my eyelids. My face burned, mimicking the toxins of swarming bees stinging my face. I got up and looked in the mirror. Everything above my neck was red, swollen, and was oozing with tiny blisters. My scalp was an inferno. It took many doctors and 2 weeks of sleeping upright in pain until finally I got the proper diagnosis. The culprit behind my suffering? An allergic reaction to phenyldiamine used in most hair dyes. How did I know? I was never tested. I'd never had my hair dyed before, ever in my life, with the exception of one time in New York when I had my hair dyed Swiss chocolate because my friend's father owned Carol Richards, and he gave all of us in college a free hair dye and haircut, so I went along with it. But I've always had natural blonde hair. And right after that Swiss chocolate experience in New York, I did experience what seemed to be a slight facial eczema. But absolutely, I didn't, and my doctor didn't connect the dots with hair dye. My acute episode happened in my late 40s when my blonde hair began to look very monotone and looked faded. So I decided to have my hair reverse frosted. The process of placing dark blonde streaks going through my colorless hair to brighten it. Of course, my hairdresser never patch tested me for PPD allergy. In addition, that reaction for years gave me cross-reaction to other substances. A real nightmare sorting out to what I was newly allergic to and not. For a while, my agent suggested I use vegetable-based red henna so that I could be put into an aging category and could get more acting jobs. But when I was about 65, finally getting tired of the process, I said enough is enough and decided to just be me and to see what was under all of that henna. I didn't care what it was. And voila, there it was, my white hair hiding under that red mop for all those years. How many, I'll never know, but I really felt free at last. So I guess, in a weird way, I can be forever grateful to PPD for forcing me to be me and appropriately age with no pretenses of being other than who I am. I will be eternally grateful. The need for love lies at the very foundation of human existence. However capable and skillful an individual may be, left alone, he or she will not survive, and the healthy development of its self-confidence all depends directly upon love. The Dalai Lama. She is an angel of mercy. Formerly a traveling RN from Ohio, she came here after working several years in Dubai. Fell in love with Miami and stayed making permanent roots under the beautiful palms and banyan-lined streets. I work in the ICU for newborn babies at a hospital in Miami, she said. It's a good feeling when the babies survive and eventually go home with their parents. But it doesn't always turn out that way, unfortunately. Sometimes I rock and cradle them in my arms in their last moments of life. I want them to at least have that comfort. It's difficult. It never gets easier. We lost 3 babies last week within hours. A lot of these babies are from poor or single mother situations. I felt they deserved a better ending, so my mother and her friends started making baby layettes out of donated wedding dresses. We dressed the babies who have passed in these beautiful outfits to give them a final meaning that their lives counted, even if it's just for hours. To their parents and to us, their lives mattered. That happens to be a wonderful young neighbor of mine, and she, at one time, was my face of Miami Beach. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again in my next podcast talking about wool gatherings, life, and love, and loss, and everything that affects each and every one of us. Hope to see you soon.